and this could get us to a huge, huge hot take by the perp. I've been a little nervous about saying this, but I'm not going to lie. I will say it here. Krazy After Dark. I think that new Captain America trailer looked like absolute shit.
Really?
I thought it looked like shit. I don't know how people think that looks good.
Wow, I'm excited about
I
it.
am very worried about that movie, man.
What didn't you like about it?
I didn't see anything. The acting looked off in some of the scenes between Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie. I didn't see anything spectacular outside of maybe the flip he does at the end with the car, and even that is like, I mean, how many times are we gonna have people go through fucking cars, like splitting cars in half and going through them? Yeah, I didn't see anything exciting, not one thing. I don't care about Hulk stuff. I didn't see he didn't do a cool punch or anything. No, it could be good. I'm very worried. I think the production of the trailer was fantastic, and whoever the editing team, they're very good. The trailer house that put the trailer together was very well done, and I think it fooled a lot of people because what I saw, it's like the actual visuals and imagery. It didn't seem like enough. It didn't seem like what is the action set piece? I guess is the Hulk thing, but outside of that, it's like I'm not seeing anything very cool. He's like flying around with ships it's like, didn't we have like an awesome set piece with battleships and all people flying around in X-Men First Class? It's like, what are you doing that's raising the bar? I didn't see a damn thing. So yeah, I was not impressed by that trailer. I'm very worried about that movie, unlike other people.
I don't care about the bar. I just want a good story.
I need some. If you're an action movie, okay. I give leeway to a lot of action movies when people say story. It's like, no, I just need really good action in my action movie. That is the intent of the filmmakers. They wanted to make an action movie. It's okay if characters and story take a backseat as long as you deliver in the action. But you got to deliver in the action. And that's kind of
that's the funny thing. I don't really think of those movies as action movies.
Oh, I do. I do 100%. They might have subgenres like Winter Soldier could be like a espionage political thriller, but it's like an action. It's like that's like the subgenre. It's like its template is an action movie. Like you are seeing the set, like the audience went there for the set pieces. They need to have certain set pieces, otherwise people are going to be really disappointed. In my opinion, I think people's problem with Iron Man 2 is that there wasn't enough action. It's just like 2 set pieces. That's it. Literally it.
See, that's my second favorite Iron Man movie.
Yeah,
see, I go for the characters. I'm more interested in the characters, in what drives them, and what.
Sure, I mean that should always be the number one goal. But it's like we're watching action movies, so it's like that's got to be the delivery first and foremost, in my opinion. But characters are important, and I did fall in love with I'm not a comic book guy. I fell in love with the MCU because of the characters, for sure. But they were able to deliver with the action for the most part, and they definitely raised it up a level with Winter Soldier. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, like I know one of my pet peeves when Shazam 2 came out was I kept hearing people go, "Oh, it's nothing special. It's something we haven't seen before. It doesn't do anything different. It's and I'm like, no, it told a good story. It told a good story. I wasn't going there to reinvent the wheel. I was going there to get a good Shazam story, and that's what it gave me.
It had when I saw the trailer to Shazam 2, it delivered on. Look, it showed the spectacle. I was like, oh shit, there's a huge dragon that's gonna be chasing him all through the city. Like there was lots of there was actual spectacle. It was like Captain America just running around with battleships in the middle of the ocean. It's just like not really doing it for me personally.
Terry Talks Movie says, I like Iron Man 3, but then I like most shameless.
I love Iron Man 3. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the most underrated MCU movie. Straight up.
Iron Man 3, it's a weird movie because it's the subject of revisionist history. Because when that movie came out, everybody went nuts for it. Everybody loved that movie, and then suddenly it's
that plane sequence is one of the best. Like, and it's all 100% Tony. Like, that's the thing. Like, we're not doing like punching and all this shit. Like, the set pieces were so well done and choreographed, where they were legitimately exciting, suspenseful. It was set pieces around suspense with that plane sequence, like him getting it and using like the shockwave so they hold on. That shit was genius. That was awesome. That is one of the best action scenes ever in MCU.
Yeah, I think it's far and away the best of the Iron Man movies. Like, it is my favorite
Not in the
Iron Man
first one.
movie.
I think it has a really good character arc for
See,
Tony too.
the first one's my least favorite. The first one's my least favorite because two reasons. Number one, there's too much setup, too much. There are too many cave scenes. It's got originitis, and then it also ends too quickly. Like the final battle, like Ironmonger
Yeah,
gets in the suit, and it's like
you should have
they,
watched Transformers a year before.
yeah,
That's
they
how you
like
do a final battle, motherfuckers.
Iron
Cheeseman,
Man.
put up Cheeseman comment. He forgot one. Iron Man 3, great Shane Black movie, terrible Iron Man movie, but also a great Tony Stark movie. You forgot one.
I thought it was a phenomenal Iron Man movie.
It's a great Tony Stark movie.
Yeah, God, I love that. Yeah, for
And
me,
we all care about Tony Stark way more than the freaking Iron Man.
Yeah,
He
and
makes Iron Man.
Terry's right. Terry says giving Stark PTSD deep in the character. That was great. The PTSD stuff.
No, and like his arc was amazing. Like it's
Yeah.
a basic, simple arc that more movies should be doing. He was obsessed and he thought he needed the suit. He learned he didn't need the suit. The suit wasn't him. It's like simple. It's like what was his arc in the second one?
Yeah. Now James says something here that and James, no offense to you, because you're not the only person to have said this, but every time I've ever heard this, I've said this is complete BS. He says, didn't Iron Man 2 rely too much on setups with the Avengers? No, it did not. I've heard people for years saying Iron Man 2, all it was doing was setting up Avengers, and that's simply not true.
That's all they remember.
Really, like the setup of Avengers, what setup was there? Coulson mentions, something happened in New Mexico. I have to go check it out. Like, that's one line. And then people say, well, they introduced Black Widow. Yeah, but Black Widow was a player in this story. She was a character in this story. It's not like she was there just because she was being introduced for Avengers. She was a player in the Iron Man 2
I think
story.
it was interwoven fine with him giving up his company to Pepper, and she was like the person in, and he fell in love with her. It was fine.
Yeah,
it was woven in.
To me, the Iron Man movies go in reverse order. I think 3 is the best, 2 is the second best, and the original is
it's probably 1, 3, and 2 for me.
But
I love the first one is special for me.
Yeah,
it was really Robert Downey Jr. The Robert Downey Jr. show made it special.
I am getting
and people are still throughout. With Agatha being, in my opinion, it seems like it's a success, bona fide success. People are still saying MCU needs to get it together. It's like it seems like they are with Deadpool and now Agatha. Like, I thought the Marvels was fine. It's not my favorite. I thought it was fine. I could totally understand people being disappointed with it. But it has fun. It had a little bit more fun than the first one. So I enjoyed it a little bit more than the first one. But yeah, like, dude, I swear to God, one hiccup got everyone absolutely gaslighting themselves into thinking MCU's in trouble. It's crazy. It's crazy out there, Joe. I can't even tell you what's going on Twitter.
Yeah, I've never understood it. People keep saying like, oh, the MCU, it's not as good as it used to be. I say nonsense to that. Like, I didn't care for Secret Invasion. I didn't care for Moon Knight and Eternals and Black Panther 2. And that's like 4 projects.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I think the MCU has continued to be spectacular.
I think the messes that even like a mess like Thor Love and Thunder, which I still legitimately loved, and Wakanda, I think even with the messes that they are going all over the place, I still think there's so many golden moments that to throw it away is just an absolute, like, I feel misunderstanding of the art of cinema. It's like go for scenes, go for the acting in this. Look at this emotional scene between Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth and Thor: Love and Thunder. Everything is completely because of some bad comedic timing or one particularly bad scene. Everything is thrown out, and that's crazy to me.
Which movie are we talking about?
Thor: Love and Thunder.
What was the particularly bad scene?
I think, in my opinion, the comedy did not work with the Russell Crowe scene. I wasn't. I was rushing. I wanted it to rush. I wanted it to get out of there so fast with all the Russell Crowe stuff.
See, I loved that. I love it.
Okay.
Thor: Love and Thunder is
I loved everything else. I thought it was a very emotional movie.
It's by far my favorite of the Thor movies, and it's probably my favorite post Endgame MCU movie. I've watched it more times than I can count. It's and it makes me laugh every time. I thought Russell Crowe was hilarious. I love the goats. I have a T-shirt of the goats. I bought a T-shirt.
Yeah, I understand the criticisms. The goats didn't work for me either. Again, it was I probably even understand why most people don't like it, but I'm just like, well, we're ignoring the good shit. We're ignoring the great character stuff and the backbone of that thing. And Christian Bale's amazing performance. And every time people go after, like, no, Christian Bale sucked, it's always because he's not like in the comics. Like that character specifically gets not like the comics, therefore it sucked for some reason. Like, oh, look at how he is in the comics. God killer. He's not even a God killer. It's like he killed a god that's his intro. What the hell?
The one thing about Thor Love and Thunder that gets heavily criticized that I never understood is there's a shot where Thor is talking to the Heimdall's son, and Heimdall's son appears as a floating head, and people are like, these special effects are terrible. And I'm like, why? He's talking to a translucent projected head. Like the character's not there. The character's not there in the room. And I'm like, people are like, this looks like garbage. And I'm like, no, it looks like what it's supposed to look like. He's talking to a projected head, and that looks like a projected head.
What about that black and white planet fight? That shit was amazing. You people are haters. Chat, you're haters.
Well, I don't think the chat's saying anything, right?
Yeah, they are. Look at them. Look at them go.
Which one?
All of them.
I don't know.
Ban them all. Let God decide.
I'll tell you now. As much as I love, while we're on the topic of Thor: Love and Thunder, let me segue real quick here. I love Taika Waititi. Like, sure. I don't think other than the movie Next Goal Wins, which is garbage, I don't think I've ever seen anything by Taika Waititi I didn't like. He has a series that has been on Apple TV Plus that unfortunately didn't get picked up for a second season. It's a reboot of the old Terry Gilliam film Time Bandits. And my wife and I have slowly been making our way through the Taika Waititi's Time Bandits. God damn, it's great. It's great. And it didn't get picked up. It's heartbreaking. Like, we're watching this show and we're like, this is so funny and so clever. And no, I think it's just a case of, there's too much on right now.
Yeah. I like her. I would probably say maybe Lisa Kudrow should not have been the leading that one. Might have.
She's really good in it.
I know. I'm just saying, for the marketing, it didn't feel like, some parts didn't feel right for the marketing, and that's why I never got to see it. But you're telling me it's good. I have no doubt. I think she's actually talented and one of the most underrated from the Friends cast. Romeo and Michelle High School Reunion all day. I love that fucking movie.
I've actually never seen that one.
You've never seen Romeo and Michelle? Dude, Joe, you have a favorite movie waiting for you. You have a movie that I guarantee will be one of your favorites.
Really?
It is amazing. That movie it's underrated.
It's like one of those movies. It's one of those movies that when it came out, like, you know how comedy is. Comedy is very subjective.
Yes.
And the trailers didn't look funny, I didn't think.
It is, man. I think, how do you pronounce her name? Janine Garofalo.
Oh, I love Janine Garofalo.
She's in it. She's hilarious, bro. And like, they have like this thing where they want to seem cool and they go back to their high school reunion. So they're like, what's something no one would know? It was like, we invented Post-its. So they go around their reunion saying they invented
Post-its. Are you kidding me?
What?
That is so weird. Do you know why?
Why?
When you recommend a movie, or when someone recommends a movie when we're on a stream, I write it on a Post-it, and I was just writing to watch Romeo and Michelle on a Post-it while you were saying that.
That's a subplot in the movie.
How odd is that?
It's meant to be. I'm telling you, that's going to be your favorite movie, Joe.
Oh boy,
it's hilarious. No, I'm surprised, dude. You're not a Lisa Kudrow fan until you see that movie.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have any.
She's amazing in that movie.
I don't have anything against Lisa Kudrow. I certainly don't have anything against Lisa Kudrow. But Time Bandits may be the first thing I've really watched Lisa Kudrow in, because I am not a fan of
Oh shit.
Friends. Like
Okay.
I don't like Friends. I mean, I've seen Friends, but I don't care
Sure.
for it.
Sure.
So I don't know. I'm trying to
James
think.
James Borland says thoughts on Eternals, Crazy Joe. I'm actually don't know that either.
I don't like the Eternals.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it's as bad as people say. Like, I'll take the Eternals over Black Panther 2. I hated Black Panther 2. Black Panther 2
I
might be the
noticed.
only MCU movie I hate.
Really?
Yeah.
You even like Thor Dark World?
I'd take it over Black Panther 2.
And Ant-Man and Wasp?
I loved Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
But I loved all three of the Ant-Man movies.
Is that your favorite trilogy? Is that the most consistent trilogy in your eyes of the Marvel MCU?
I have a hard time calling any of them trilogies, just because.
Do it for me, Joe.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, people will say the Iron Man trilogy, and I'm like, Iron Man's not a trilogy because Iron Man's story ended in Avengers Endgame. Like, his arc went over 3 movies.
So rate just the trilogy without the arc.
Well, to me,
Rate
that's
the
not
Thor
trilogy.
trilogy. Thor trilogy.
The Thor trilogy. I love the first and third. No, I love the first, third, and fourth.
I think Ant-Man's your favorite trilogy, man.
Yeah,
Guardians.
Maybe. Guardians. I was very disappointed in the third one.
Okay, yeah.
I liked it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
trilogy.
Guardians Volume 3. I don't think Guardians Volume 3.
Captain America.
Was bad.
Captain America.
Captain America was good. They were good.
Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War.
Do you like them more than the Ant-Man movies?
I don't know. The Ant-Man movies might be more fun.
I think you like that. I think that's your trilogy, man.
A lot of people hated Quantumania.
Yeah, so.
And I get why people hated Quantumania, because Quantumania was weird and bonkers. But for that reason, I adored that movie.
Sure.
Like, that movie, the world building and just how goofy and out there it was such a wild sci-fi movie. I loved that movie.
Sure.
But I also get why people like when people say they don't like the Thor Love and Thunder, it boggles my mind. I'm like, what didn't you like? But I get why people don't like Quantumania.
What about Shang-Chi? What about Shang-Chi?
I loved Shang-Chi.
I love Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big martial arts fan and kung fu.
Right.
So Shang-Chi just hit me right in the core of what is a perp.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about Marvel is that they, again, I came at this not from a comic book angle. I am a fan of cinema. I am a fan of movies, and Marvel was always. I noticed that Avengers was when I really like, okay, this shit is super special. But every Marvel movie was always hitting me with something like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's fun. I wasn't. And I remember Shang-Chi when they do the subplot of the father played by Tony Leung, and they show him meeting the mother, and they have this beautiful romantic, almost fight scene that feels more like a beautiful dance. It was just like that. That's the juice for the perp right there. It's like I wasn't expecting the villain to have this beautiful moment with the wife. You know, it's like those little Marvel moments is what really, really just cemented for me as being special. You know.
Yeah, and also I love the character of Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, we were talking.
Yeah, he's great. I can't wait for Wonder Man because he seems heavily involved in that shit.
We were talking about Iron Man 3 earlier. We didn't even mention Trevor. One of the things I love so much about Iron Man 3 is they had that brilliant twist where you find out who, spoiler alert on a movie that came out in 2013. But when you find out he's not the Mandarin. And
ole, ole.
I always talk about how that summer, the summer of 2013, 2 movies came out that had a twist that they tried to hide from the audience.
Oh no! Everyone, brace yourself for Star Trek talk.
Yeah, one of them worked, one of them didn't. It was Star Trek Into Darkness when my name is Khan, and the twist with
I would have had a joke. I would have had a joke where it's like I would have had Spock look at Kirk. He goes, "That can't be." Get it? You get it.
But that was the thing. It was like
he's like,
my name is Khan, and everybody in the audience was like, "Yeah, we figured that out. We figured that out. This is not you're not surprising anyone."